Judges chapter 17. There was once a man named Micah who lived in the hill country of Ephraim. He said to his mother, when someone stole those 1100 pieces of silver from you, you put a curse on the thief. I heard you. He pushed with all his might. Do it. Look, I have the money. I am the one who took it. His mother said, may the Lord bless you, my son. He gave the money back to his mother, and she said, to stop the curse from falling on my son, I myself am solemnly dedicating the silver to the Lord. It will be used to make a wooden idol covered with silver. So now I will give the pieces of the silver back to you. Then he gave them back to his mother. She took 200 of the pieces of silver and gave them to a metal worker who made an idol, carving it from wood and covering it with silver. It was placed in Micah's house. This man Micah had his own place of worship. He made some idols and ephod and appointed one of his sons as his priest. There was no king in Israel that time. Everyone did just as he pleased. At that same time, there was a young Levite who had been living in the town to find somewhere else to live. While he was traveling, he came to Micah's house in the hill country of Ephraim. Micah asked him, where do you come from? He answered, I am Levite from Bethlehem in Judah. I am looking for somewhere to live. Micah said, stay with me, be my advisor and priest, and I will give you 10 pieces of silver a year, some clothes and your food. The young Levite agreed to stay with Micah and become like a son to him. Micah appointed him as his priest, and he lived in Micah's home. Micah said, now that I have a Levite as my priest, I know that Lord will make things go well for me.
Judges chapter 18. There was no king in Israel at that time. In those days, the tribe of Dan was looking for territory to claim and occupy because they had not yet received any land of their own among the tribes of Israel. So the people of Dan chose 5 qualified men out of all the families in the tribe and sent them from the towns of Zorah and Estaol with the instructions to explore the land. When they arrived in the hill country of Ephraim, they stayed at Micah's house. While they were there, they recognized the accent of the young Levite. So they went up to him and asked, what are you doing here? Who brought you here? He answered, I have an arrangement with Micah, who pays me to serve as his priest. They said to him, please ask God if we are going to be successful on our journey. The priest answered, you have nothing to worry about. The Lord is taking care of you on this journey. So the 5 men left and went to the town of Laish. They saw how safely the people there were living, like the Sidonians. They were a peaceful, quiet people with no disputes with anyone. They had all they needed. They lived far away from the Sidonians and had no dealings with any other people. When the 5 men returned to Zorah and Estaol, their countrymen asked them what they had found out. Come on, they replied. Let's attack Laish. We saw the land and it's very good. Don't stay here doing nothing. Hurry, go on in and take it over. When you get there, you will find that the people don't suspect a thing. It is a big country. It has everything a person could want, and God has given it to you. So 600 men from the tribe of Dan left Zorah and Estaol ready for battle. They went up and made camp west of Kiriath Jearim in Judah. That is why the place is still called Camp of Dan. They went on from there and came to Micah's house in the hill country of Ephraim. Then the 5 men who had gone to explore the country round Laish said to their companions, "Did you know that here in one of these houses there is a wooden idol covered with silver? There are also other idols and an ephod. What do you think we should do?" So they went into Micah's house where the young Levite lived and asked the Levite how he was getting on. Meanwhile, the 600 soldiers from Dan, ready for battle, were standing at the gate. The 5 spies went straight on into the house and took the wooden idol covered with silver, the other idols, and the ephod, while the priest stayed at the gate with the 600 armed men. When the men went into Micah's house and took the sacred objects, the priest asked them, "What are you doing?" They said, "Keep quiet, don't say a word. Come with us and be our priest and advisor. Wouldn't you rather be a priest for a whole Israelite tribe than for the family of one man?" This made the priest very happy. So he took the sacred objects and went along with them. They turned round and started off with their children, their livestock, and their belongings going ahead. They had traveled a good distance from the house when Micah called his neighbors out for battle. They caught up with the men from Dan and shouted at them. The men from Dan turned round and asked Micah, "What's the matter? Why all this mob?" Micah answered, "What do you mean? What's the matter? You take my priest and the gods that I made and walk off. What have I got left?" The men from Dan said, "You had better not say anything else, unless want these men to get angry and attack you. Then you and your whole family would die." Then they went on. Micah saw that they were too strong for him, so he turned and went back home. 27 to 28. After the men from Dan had taken the priest and the things that Micah had made, they went and attacked Laish, that town of peaceful, quiet people which was in the same valley as Bethlehem. They killed the inhabitants and burned the town. There was no one to save them because Laish was a long way from Sidon and they had no dealings with any other people. They the men from the Dan rebuilt the town and settled down there. They changed its name from Laish to Dan, after the ancestor Dan, the son of Jacob, the worshipped, and Jonathan, the son of Gershom and grandson of Moses, served as a priest for the tribe of Dan, and his descendants served as their priest until the people were taken away into exile. Micah's idol remained there all the time that the tent where God was worshipped remained at Shiloh.
The book of Judges, chapter 19. The Levite and his concubine. In those days, before Israel had a king, there was a Levite living far back in the hill country of Ephraim. He took a girl from Bethlehem in Judah to be his concubine, but she became angry with him, went back to her father's house in Bethlehem, and stayed there 4 months. Then the man decided to go after her and try to persuade her to return to him. He took his servant and 2 donkeys with him. The girl showed the Levite into the house, and when her father saw him, he gave him a warm welcome. The father insisted that he stay, and so he stayed for 3 days. The couple had their meals and spent the nights there. On the morning of the 4th day, they woke up early and got ready to go. But the girl's father said to the Levite, "Have something to eat first, it will do you good. You can go later." So the 2 men sat down and ate and drank together. Then the girl's father said to him, "Please spend the night here and enjoy yourself." The Levite got up to go, but the father urged him to stay. So he spent another night there. Early in the morning of the 5th day, he started to leave, but the girl's father said, "Eat something, please. Wait until later in the day." So the 2 men ate together. When the man, his concubine, and the servant once more started to leave, the father said, Look, it's almost evening now. You might as well stay all night. It will be dark soon. Stay here and have a good time. Tomorrow you can get up early for your journey and go home. But the man did not want to spend another night there, so he and his concubine started on their way with their servant and 2 donkeys with pack saddles. It was late in the day when they came near Jebus, that is Jerusalem. So the servant said to his master, "Why don't we stop and spend the night here in this Jebusite city?" But his master said, "We are not going to stop in a city where the people are not Israelites. We'll pass on and go a little farther and spend the night at Gibeah or Ramah." So they went past Jebus and continued on their way. It was sunset when they came to Gibeah in the territory of the tribe of Benjamin. They turned off the road to go and spend the night there. They went into the city and sat down in the square, but no one offered to take them home for the night. While they were there, an old man came by at the end of a day's work in the fields. He was originally from the hill country of Ephraim, but he was now living in Gibeah. The other people there were from the tribe of Benjamin. The old man noticed the traveler in the city square and asked him, "Where do you come from? Where are you going?" The Levite answered, "We have been to Bethlehem in Judah, and now we are on our way home, deep in the hill country of Ephraim. No one will put us up for the night, even though we have fodder and straw for our donkeys, as well as bread and wine for my concubine and me and for my servant. We have everything we need." The old man said, "You're welcome in my home. I'll take care of you. You don't have to spend the night in the square." So he took them home with him and fed their donkeys. His guests washed their feet and had a meal. They were enjoying themselves when all of a sudden some sexual perverts from the town surrounded the house and started beating on the door. They said to the old man, "Bring out that man that came home with you. We want to have sex with him." But the old man went outside and said to them, "No, my friends, please don't do such an evil, immoral thing. This man is my guest. Look, here is his concubine and my own daughter who is a virgin. I'll bring them out now and you can have them. Do with them whatever you want, but don't do such an awful thing to this man." But the men would not listen to him, so the Levite took his concubine and put her outside with them. They raped her and abused her all night long and didn't stop until morning. At dawn, the woman came and fell down at the door of the old man's house where her husband was. She was still there when daylight came. Her husband got up that morning, and when he opened the door to go on his way, he found his concubine lying in front of the house with her hands reaching for the door. He said, "Get up, let's go," but there was no answer. So he put her body across the donkey and started on his way home. When he arrived, he went into the house and got a knife. He took his concubine's body, cut it into 12 pieces, and sent one piece to each of the 12 tribes of Israel. Everyone who saw it said, "We have never heard of such a thing. Nothing like this has ever happened since the Israelites left Egypt. We have to do something about this. What will it be?"